guys, and welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it yet, but there's just some things that have been weighing on my mind that I just wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. And I know there are other YouTubers out there way bigger than me who have probably and already have said the same things, and probably a lot more eloquently than I will be able to say them. But this kind of goes up in correlation with the swimsuit video I uploaded last night. And not that I've had any bad comments on that video, I haven't. And so that's not what this is going to be about. But I'm trying to think of like what I want to say here. Mostly just when it comes to body confidence. I mean, I'm quite confident and comfortable in myself now. I mean, I'm 25 and I'm there. I feel like I am very confident in my skin, and I definitely love my body. And to be entirely honest, I was a lot more self-conscious when I was a lot thinner. Back when I was a size 14 and I had a tiny little waist, I had never really adjusted to being in that size. Because I went from being like the size I am now, essentially being like about 18 or so, to being down to like a size 14. And then that was all during high school, like middle school and such. I was like a size 18. And then freshman year through senior year, I dropped a lot of weight and I went down to about a size 14. And then after I graduated high school, it was like a continual incline weight gain to where I am now, which I'm between a 19 and a 22, depending on what store I'm shopping at. So I just wanted to come on here and say, I've been there. I know what it feels like to be so self-conscious in your skin and to feel like you hate your body and that you're afraid to show it off. And I just want people to know, whatever you're going through, however you feel about yourself and your body, you just have to learn how to love your body. You really do. I guess where this all started coming from and me like really wanting to weigh in on this subject in general, was over the 4th of July weekend, which was obviously in July. It was over a month ago now. Mike and I went camping, and at the campgrounds we go to, they have this really big pond that has a nice beach area, like sandy beach area around the pond. And we love going swimming there. We're actually going camping there this weekend, and we're going to be hanging out at the beach like pretty much the entire time, which I'm really excited about that. But over the 4th of July weekend when we were there and Mike and I were just like hanging out and swimming, there was several groups of younger people. There was a few groups of guys and a few groups of girls, and they all were in their teens, like probably anywhere from 16 to 19 age range, I would guess. But there was one girl in particular who just kind of stood out to me and just really pulled on my heartstrings. And I didn't say anything to her. I didn't want to be like that weird person or whatever, because I don't have a clue who she is. But she didn't want to get in the water, and she wasn't the only one. There was a couple. There was one group of girls who came down. I think there was 2 or 3 of them, and they were all larger girls. And they had their swimsuits wrapped around them, not their swimsuits, they had their towels wrapped around their bodies, and they just sat on the beach the whole time and watched everybody, and they didn't get in the water. But then there was this other girl who was larger, who came with a group of other girls who were slimmer, and all the other girls jumped in the water and were flirting with the boys, and you could tell this other girl was just extremely self-conscious and didn't want to get in the water. She held her towel around her the whole time and just watched everybody having fun. Even when her friends tried to get her to come into the water, she wouldn't do it. You could tell she was just afraid everybody was going to be looking at her. Excuse me. And it just really broke my heart, because I've been there. I know what it is to sit on the sidelines and not enjoy yourself because of body image issues and being self-conscious of how you look and feeling like you're too fat to do fun things, like you're not good enough. and that people are going to look at you and they're going to judge you, or they're going to say something really mean to you. I mean, I've been there where I've had complete strangers say complete asshole things to me, and they don't even know me. I mean, the most recent one I can think of probably happened about 6 months ago, and I accidentally drove down the wrong direction in a parking lot. And granted, this parking lot was essentially empty. There was hardly any cars except for this one asshole in his car. And he happened to be wanting to back out, and I was going down the wrong direction. I knew I was going down the wrong direction. I felt really bad about it, but I wasn't able to get turned around. And so he pulls out and starts coming this way towards me, and I'm like trying to come this way. And he sees me, and he rolls down his window and yells out, "You're going the wrong way, fat ass." Like, and he didn't even know me. Like, I'm just sitting in my car, and I made a mistake. I knew I made a mistake. I tried to wave at him when he pulled out, trying to be like, hey, I'm sorry, no, I'm going the wrong way. Hand signals and such. The most communication you can do from inside your vehicle without, rolling down the window and saying something. And it was just a complete and honest mistake. But his first thing to jump to call me was a fat ass, because that was the only insult he could think of, I guess, because he could see that I'm a thicker person. But anyways, so yeah, I just want to say, I know what it is to be completely self-conscious in yourself and to sit on the sidelines and not to have fun. And I really just want to say that if that's what you're feeling, you gotta work on your confidence. And I can make videos on how I built my self-confidence, if that would help anybody. Because, like I said, that just pulled on my heartstrings to know that she didn't want to get in the water and have fun with her friends because she was so afraid of what everybody else on the beach was thinking of her. And to be honest, I mean, you just gotta just not worry about what other people are thinking of you, and just get in there and have fun. Because standing there on the sidelines and your friends trying to get your attention and trying to get you to come in the water with them really is drawing more attention to you and the whole situation. So honestly, one thing I found is that if you're worried about people looking at you, then get in the water. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to make this like a confident video, like telling you I've been there, and you gotta have some self-love for yourself. You really do. And I know that that's a whole journey in itself. It's not something that just happens overnight. But sometimes you just gotta take a deep breath and put yourself in situations that make you feel uncomfortable and just go for it. Because you're never gonna learn to love yourself if you always let yourself sit on the sidelines and you always tell yourself that you're not good enough. You're never going to get anywhere with that. You really aren't. So even if you're completely self-conscious about the whole situation and you don't want to go swimming because you're afraid of people looking at you, well, that's one of those things where I find that taking a deep breath and counting to 3 and then just doing it. Just doing it. No thought in your minds. Just do it. And it really helps. I know what it is to be so afraid to do stuff like that, that you do sit on the sidelines and you miss out on it a lot. And I gotta be honest, when you sit on the sidelines like that, people notice. People will be watching you when you don't get in, because you're the oddball not getting in the water when everybody else is in the water. But when you go down to the beach with your friends, this is going out to that girl in particular, and she came down to the beach with all of her friends, and all of her friends took off their towels and got in the water. If she'd done it with them, nobody would have noticed her. I gotta be honest. Nobody would have noticed her, and she would have went in the water, and she'd have had a great time and been able to swim with all of her friends. Once you're in the water, like, people seeing, like, from here up, like, you can't get more covered than that, unless you want to go under the water, which you can. But, like, sitting on the sidelines, watching everybody else, you're standing out, and people are going to watch you anyways, which, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, I know you're sitting out of the water because you don't want to be stared at in your swimsuit, but standing out of the water wrapped in your towel, you're getting twice the attention you would if you just take your swimsuit off and get in the water with your friends. And I know that kind of sounds harsh, like, suck it up and do it. I know that sounds harsh, But that's just something I've noticed as I've come into my own and become more comfortable in my own skin, and I've stopped worrying about what everybody else thinks of me and is looking at me. I've started noticing other people, and I've started noticing, like with this girl, you know, I wouldn't have even noticed her if she just gotten into the water with her friends. Wouldn't even noticed. But when she stood there on the sidelines holding her towel and everybody else is in the pool, like the pond, like, she kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. And you could tell I started watching the other people around me were watching her and trying to see what she was going to do next. Because she just kind of put herself out there for that. And if she had just gotten in with her friends, nobody would have noticed. And she would have been able to have a great time. But she was so stuck in her head and stuck in herself of what everybody's going to think of her and how much judgment she's going to have, that she held herself back. And she didn't enjoy herself. You could tell. I mean, that she felt humiliated. I mean, I've been there. I've been in her shoes. I know what it is to sit on the sidelines and think, wow, I'm the fat friend. I'm the ugly friend. Nobody's ever going to be attracted to me. Nobody wants to see me in my swimsuit. Nobody wants to see this. I get that. I've been there. And I understand that, like, just having confidence in yourself to go out doesn't happen overnight. But when you're in, it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to go to the beach and be uncomfortable and think, wow, I really don't want people looking at me. But when you just take a deep breath and just go for it, just don't worry about anybody else. You're not there for anybody else anyways. You're there for yourself and your family and your friends, and you're there to have fun and enjoy yourself. And if you're just going to sit on the beach and hug yourself in your towel, you're not enjoying yourself. You're being self-conscious. And in being self-conscious and not wanting anybody to look at you, you're causing people to look at you. So it's kind of having the reverse effect. So I don't know how helpful this video is going to be. And in some ways I feel like I'm kind of being a jerk about it. But like I said, she just tugged at my heartstrings. And I just wanted to go hug her and drag her into the pool and tell her to have fun. I mean, I didn't, because that'd have been creepy, because she don't have a clue who I am and I don't know her. But I understood how she was feeling, because I've been there. And sometimes you just gotta do it. You just gotta get out there and do it. And enjoy yourself. I mean, life is meant to be enjoyed, and you're meant to have fun, not be so self-conscious that you hold yourself back and you don't enjoy yourself. And like I said, it just tugged on my heartstrings. And I just wanted to come on here and say, you know, everybody is beautiful, and I don't care what size you are beautiful. And everybody has body confidence issues. I got a cousin that fluctuates between a size 0 and a size 4 to 5. And when she gets up to being a size 4 and 5, like, she looks she's still tiny. She is tiny, but she's so self-conscious about how much she weighs and all of that stuff, which at her lowest, I think she's gotten down to like 98 pounds, which isn't healthy at all. Like, and at her heaviest, I think she's been up to like 120. She just gets so self-conscious about herself. And I would kill to be her size. And I guess that's something else to throw out there, is that no matter what size you are, there is somebody else out there who would love to be you, who would love to be your size, or who would love to have your hair. Maybe you don't like your hair, but there's somebody else out there who would love to have your hair. Or maybe you don't like your skin color, or your skin in general, whatever. There's somebody else out there who would love to have your skin color. So just because you think the grass is greener on the other side, there's somebody else out there thinking the same thing about you. So you're in your best interest, your own best interest, to find a way to love yourself and love what you have. Because there's somebody else out there who wants what you have. Whatever you think is hideous and horrible about yourself, somebody else out there wants that. And I mean, like I said, with the girl who wanted to sit on the sidelines and not go swimming because she was afraid, she was self-conscious about her weight. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the other 3 girls, because like I said, there was a group of like 2 or 3 girls who came down who were big and sitting on the sidelines and didn't want to get in the water either. One of those girls was bigger than the one who was standing on the edge of the beach not wanting to get in. And I would almost be willing to bet you that she would love to be the size of the girl who was too afraid to get in the water and was making a big scene about herself. And like I said, I say that because she was holding her towel to herself, and she was standing down by the water talking to her friends in the water, and they kept trying to get her to come in, and she kept telling them no. And so it was just kind of like obviously pulling attraction to herself, or attention is what I mean. But there was other people on that beach who would love to be her size, and if they were her size, they would be in the water. So that's one of the things that I found that helped me learn to love myself, is that I know there are people out there. I've got friends who have told me, I would love to be your size because they're bigger than I am. I mean, I'm a big girl, but I've got friends bigger than me who would love to be my size. And that if they were my size, they would wear the kind of clothes that they feel like they can't wear right now, which I find really sad because I think that they can wear it. They're just so self-conscious about themselves. They're so worried about what everybody else is going to think about them and judge them on, that they try to cover themselves up and not wear what they want to wear. They just try to hide. And like I said, there's always somebody else out there who would love to be in your shoes and love to look like you. And you're just in your own best interest to find a way to love yourself and to get out of your comfort zone and just enjoy yourself and have fun. Get out there and go swimming and screw everybody else. So what if somebody says something to you? I mean, the likelihood is nobody's going to say anything at all. That's the truth. It's very unlikely that anybody is going to say anything to you, especially if you're in a location where nobody knows you, like at the campground. The only people at the campground that are going to know you at the campground are the people you came to the campground with. Okay, so it's highly unlikely that the strangers around you are going to say anything at all. And sometimes that's the best place to practice building your own self-consciousness, your own self-confidence, is to go to a place where nobody knows you and then do the thing that you're most afraid of and see what happens. And most likely, nobody's going to say anything to you about it, and you're going to have a blast, and you're really just going to enjoy yourself. So, again, you're beautiful and you're deserving, and you can't be your own worst enemy. You have to be on your own side, and you have to fight for yourself. So, I'm going to leave that here. Hopefully this helped somebody, and I can make more videos about how I built my own self-confidence if anybody's interested. I know it's hard. But there are so many other people out there going through the same thing you're going through. You're not alone. I promise you're not alone. And everybody at every size has something about themselves that they are uncomfortable with and they're self-conscious about. So just do it. Like I said, just take a deep breath, count to 3, and just do it. So we're going to leave that here for now, I guess. I'll talk to you guys later.